Imagine a life where you're no longer ruled by the constant need to impress others, achieve unrealistic expectations, or obsess over things you cannot control. What if you could transform your mindset, freeing yourself from the anxiety of external outcomes and embracing true inner peace? This is exactly what the Stoic philosophy offers, an ancient way of thinking that teaches us how to let go of unnecessary attachments and focus only on what truly matters. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and constant pressure to conform, the Stoic principle of stopping caring might seem counterintuitive, but it holds the key to a life of clarity, purpose, and tranquility. When you stop caring, everything changes isn't about becoming indifferent or apathetic. Rather, it's about realigning your focus on what's within your power, your thoughts, actions, and reactions. The Stoics believed that by relinquishing our desire for external validation, material success, or the fear of loss, we can unlock an extraordinary sense of freedom. This shift in perspective doesn't mean abandoning ambition or neglecting responsibilities. Instead, it's about understanding what is truly worth your time and energy. By embracing this mindset, you'll experience a profound transformation in how you respond to life's challenges, how you connect with others, and ultimately, how you find happiness. Are you ready to break free from the stress and pressure that comes with caring too much about things outside your control? In this article, we'll dive into the powerful Stoic principles that can help you achieve this mindset and transform your life in ways you never thought possible. But before you begin, if this resonates with you, make sure to like, comment, and share this with anyone who needs a little Stoic wisdom in their lives. Together, let's embark on this journey of letting go and embracing the profound change that comes with it. 1. Understand what you can and can't control. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the art of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. It sounds deceptively simple, but it's a practice that can completely change how you approach life. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius emphasize that our inner peace and emotional well-being are rooted in this very understanding. When you stop caring about things beyond your control, everything changes. You'll find yourself less stressed, less anxious, and, most importantly, more empowered to live a life aligned with your true values. Think about it. How often do you find yourself stressing over the actions of others or worrying about outcomes that you can't influence? Whether it's obsessing over how someone perceives you, fretting about the weather for an event, or agonizing over a job interview that's already over, these are all examples of things that lie outside your control. Stoicism teaches that we cannot change what others do, how the world operates, or the passing of time. What we can change, however, is our response to these events and our internal reaction to them. This simple yet profound shift in perspective can have a massive impact on how we navigate the world. By recognizing what's within your control, you can stop wasting time and energy on things that don't matter. The Stoics argued that our focus should be on our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. For example, if you face criticism, you can't control what others think or say, but you can control how you process and respond to it. You can choose whether to let it affect your self-worth or use it as constructive feedback to improve. Similarly, if a goal doesn't go as planned, you can't control the outcome, but you can control the effort, mindset, and resilience you bring to the situation. The clarity you gain from focusing only on what you can control allows you to direct your energy toward personal growth, problem-solving, and building meaningful relationships. Instead of wasting emotional energy on things you can't change, you become more present and intentional in your decisions, interactions, and actions. By learning to let go of the uncontrollable, You free yourself from unnecessary stress and open the door to a more fulfilled, purposeful existence. So, the next time you find yourself caught up in worry, pause and ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. The freedom you gain will be life-changing. Second, stop seeking external validation. In a world where social media likes, approval from colleagues, and the desire to be admired by friends often dictate how we feel about ourselves, Stoicism offers a liberating alternative. Stop seeking external validation. This shift in mindset isn't about rejecting connection or healthy relationships, but about cultivating a deep sense of self-worth that isn't reliant on the approval or judgment of others. The Stoics believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from the fleeting opinions or praise of the outside world. When you stop seeking external validation, you take the power back from others and place it where it belongs, in your hands. Think about it. How often do you base your self-esteem on how others see you? How often do you feel elated when you receive praise, or crushed when you face criticism? The constant cycle of seeking approval can lead to emotional roller coasters that leave you feeling either overjoyed or deeply disappointed, depending on external factors you can't control. The Stoics taught that this is a dangerous game to play. They argued that when we rely on the opinions and judgments of others, we are at the mercy of their ever-changing moods, biases, and expectations. If you live your life seeking validation from others, you are constantly allowing them to dictate your emotional state and sense of self-worth. And yet, external validation is often fleeting and superficial. A compliment today might be followed by criticism tomorrow. This leaves you in a constant state of uncertainty, chasing after something that never truly satisfies. Instead, Stoicism urges you to turn inward and seek validation from your own actions, values, and integrity. What truly matters, according to Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, is living a life of virtue and staying true to your principles. They believed that the only approval that really matters is self-approval, knowing that you acted with honesty, courage, wisdom, and justice, regardless of how the outside world perceives you. This inner source of validation becomes a steady foundation upon which you can build your life, free from the turmoil of other people's judgments. When you stop seeking external validation, you also free yourself from the exhausting cycle of comparison. Instead of constantly measuring your worth against others, you start measuring it against your own growth, actions, and intentions. This leads to a more grounded and authentic version of yourself, one that doesn't bend to the will of the world. Imagine a life where your confidence doesn't fluctuate with the opinions of others, but remains rooted in who you know yourself to be and how you choose to live. This doesn't mean that you become indifferent to the opinions of others, nor does it mean that you stop caring about your relationships or how others feel. It simply means that your self-worth is no longer attached to these external sources. It means that you stop giving others the power to define your happiness and start taking ownership of it yourself. When you stop seeking validation, you begin to experience true freedom, a freedom that is unwavering, unshaken by the unpredictable tides of others' opinions. Incorporating this Stoic mindset into your daily life can be incredibly transformative. It allows you to feel more at peace with yourself, to make decisions based on your values, not on the fear of judgment, and to experience a deeper, more lasting sense of fulfillment. So the next time you find yourself seeking approval or validation from others, take a step back and ask yourself, am I living according to my own values and principles? If the answer is yes, then that's all the validation you truly need. 3. Embrace impermanence. One of the most powerful Stoic teachings is the acceptance of impermanence. the understanding that everything in life, from our possessions to our relationships, is temporary. Life is constantly changing, and everything we hold dear will eventually fade, whether it's our material belongings, our health, or even the people we love. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus didn't shy away from this truth. Rather, they embraced it. By fully accepting the impermanence of all things, we can free ourselves from attachment and gain a deeper sense of peace. When you stop caring about the things that are fleeting, you'll find that your life becomes more meaningful, focused, and full of appreciation for the present moment. Think about the things you hold on to tightly, the achievements you cling to for a sense of pride, the objects you gather to create comfort, or the people you fear losing. We all have attachments that, at some level, define us or give us a sense of security. But here's the catch. Nothing lasts forever. The job you've worked so hard to get could be taken away tomorrow. The relationships you cherish can change or end, and the material things you own will eventually wear out or become obsolete. Acknowledging this impermanence isn't about pessimism, it's about realism. It's about releasing the illusion of control and the fear of loss. When you embrace the truth that everything is temporary, you can begin to appreciate the present moment more fully. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on the here and now, rather than endlessly grasping for future achievements or clinging to past successes. By accepting that everything will eventually pass, we stop taking the present for granted. You can fully experience the joy of a friendship or the satisfaction of an accomplishment without constantly worrying about when it might end or how long it will last. This shift in perspective allows us to live with intention and gratitude rather than anxiety. Another powerful aspect of embracing impermanence is the freedom it gives us to let go of regret and fear. How often do we hold on to past mistakes or dwell on lost opportunities, thinking about how things could have been different? The Stoics remind us that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. The only thing we truly have is this moment. By accepting that everything is fleeting, we stop holding on to what's already past and stop worrying about what's to come. This releases us from the chains of regret and fear, and instead, we find ourselves more focused on living well in the present. This also applies to the relationships we value. The Stoics didn't shy away from the truth that people come and go from our lives, whether through death, distance, or change. By accepting this impermanence, we can love others more deeply without clinging to the fear of losing them. Instead of taking relationships for granted, we appreciate the time we have with them, knowing that we cannot control how long they will last. This leads to more meaningful connections and a greater sense of gratitude for the time spent together rather than constant worry about the future. Ultimately, embracing impermanence allows us to live with less fear, more joy, and a deeper sense of meaning. When you stop caring about holding on to the things that are beyond your control, you begin to live more fully in the present, appreciating each moment for what it is. Life is fleeting, but that's precisely why it's so precious. By accepting this truth, we can experience life in its fullest, most authentic form. So, the next time you find yourself worried about what's to come or lamenting what's gone, remember, everything is impermanent, and that's what makes it all the more beautiful. 4. Practice emotional detachment. One of the most transformative aspects of Stoicism is the practice of emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but rather learning to step back from your emotions and observe them without letting them control your actions or mindset. In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with situations that provoke strong emotional reactions, stressful work situations, personal conflicts, disappointments, and moments of triumph. But the Stoics understood that our emotional responses are often knee-jerk reactions to external events, and that true power lies in our ability to control how we respond. When you stop caring about being controlled by your emotions, everything changes. You begin to live with more clarity, balance, and purpose. The first step in practicing emotional detachment is recognizing that emotions are natural and human. Stoicism doesn't ask us to suppress feelings, but rather to acknowledge them without allowing them to define us. For example, if you're faced with a stressful situation, it's normal to feel anxiety or frustration. These emotions arise because we're interpreting the situation in a certain way. However, what the Stoics encourage is the ability to observe these emotions and detach from them before they spiral into irrational thoughts or actions. When you can do this, you create a space between the event and your reaction, and within that space, you have the power to choose how you respond. This practice of emotional detachment is particularly powerful in situations of conflict or adversity. When you're able to step back and not be driven by anger, fear, or resentment, you're able to make decisions that are more aligned with your true values. For example, imagine you're having a disagreement with a colleague or friend. In the heat of the moment, emotions can run high, and you may react impulsively, saying things you don't truly mean or acting in ways that don't serve your best interests. However, if you take a moment to detach from your emotional reaction, you can respond more thoughtfully. Instead of reacting with defensiveness or aggression, you can choose to listen, understand, and respond with wisdom. This approach doesn't only benefit your relationships, it also keeps your inner peace intact. Emotional detachment is also essential in times of failure or disappointment. In a culture that often glorifies success and views failure as a sign of personal inadequacy, it's easy to let negative emotions like shame, guilt, or frustration take over when things don't go as planned. The Stoics, however, taught that failure is simply a part of the learning process and a necessary step toward growth. When you detach emotionally from the outcome and view challenges as opportunities for growth, you're able to approach setbacks with resilience and grace. Instead of succumbing to the emotional weight of failure, you can learn from it, adapt, and continue moving forward. One of the most profound benefits of emotional detachment is the peace it brings. When you're not constantly at the mercy of your emotions, you experience greater calm, focus, and stability. You stop reacting impulsively to every external event and begin to choose how you respond. This allows you to live more intentionally, with a sense of inner harmony that is not easily shaken by life's inevitable ups and downs. By practicing emotional detachment, you free yourself from the tyranny of your emotions. You stop caring about being swept away by every passing feeling, and instead learn to approach life with a sense of clarity and purpose. The beauty of this Stoic practice is that it empowers you to take control of your inner world, making it less dependent on the fluctuating circumstances of the outer world. So, the next time you're faced with an emotional storm, remember, you have the power to detach, observe, and choose how you respond. When you stop letting your emotions dictate your actions, you create the space for true emotional freedom and personal growth. 5. Accept and adapt to adversity. One of the most essential and transformative teachings of Stoicism is the idea that adversity is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather embraced as an inevitable and valuable part of life. The Stoics, such as Epictetus and Seneca, understood that hardship and challenges are universal experiences, and how we respond to them determines our strength, growth, and inner peace. When you stop caring about avoiding adversity and instead learn to accept and adapt to it, everything changes. You begin to view difficulties not as obstacles to your happiness, but as opportunities to grow, learn, and become a more resilient version of yourself. Adversity comes in many forms: personal setbacks, failure, loss, rejection, illness, or external challenges beyond our control. In a society that often prioritizes comfort and ease, we are frequently conditioned to resist discomfort and avoid difficulties. We fear the unknown, the hard times, and the moments of struggle that can shake our sense of stability. But Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control the world around us, and expecting life to always be smooth or predictable is a recipe for disappointment and frustration. Instead of fearing adversity, the Stoics suggest we prepare for it by building an inner fortress, one that is grounded in virtue, resilience, and a mindset that sees every challenge as an opportunity for growth. The key to adapting to adversity is reframing how we perceive it. Instead of seeing a difficult situation as something that should be avoided or feared, we can choose to view it as an opportunity to practice virtues like patience, courage, and wisdom. For example, if you face a challenging situation at work, maybe you didn't get the promotion you worked hard for, or your ideas were rejected, rather than dwelling in frustration or resentment, a Stoic would encourage you to reflect on what you can learn from the experience. Maybe it's an opportunity to improve your skills, refine your approach, or develop a stronger sense of perseverance. By accepting that hardship is a part of life, you can focus on how you can respond in a way that aligns with your values, rather than getting stuck in negative emotions. Another key Stoic practice is the idea of amor fati, the love of fate. This powerful concept encourages us to accept everything that happens, both good and bad, as part of the flow of life. The Stoics believed that everything that happens is an opportunity to exercise virtue. Rather than resisting or resenting adversity, we can learn to embrace it as part of our journey. Whether we face the loss of a loved one, a financial setback, or a personal failure, the Stoic mindset teaches us to accept these moments not as punishments, but as challenges that allow us to grow and refine our character. Moreover, adversity often teaches us the most valuable lessons in life. Think about the times when you've faced hardship or struggle. These are often the moments that shaped who you are today. They may have forced you to develop resilience, learn new skills, or become more compassionate and empathetic toward others. The Stoics recognized that the ability to endure hardship and emerge stronger is what truly defines a person's character. When you stop caring about avoiding adversity, you stop running from growth. Instead, you run toward the opportunity to become a wiser, more grounded individual. When you stop caring about avoiding adversity and start embracing it, you shift your entire approach to life. You no longer see challenges as threats, but as essential components of your journey. This mindset fosters resilience, inner peace, and a sense of empowerment that cannot be shaken by the unpredictability of life. In the end, it's not the challenges that define us, but how we respond to them. So, the next time you encounter adversity, remember the Stoic wisdom. Accept it, adapt to it, and use it as a springboard for your growth. 6. Prioritize virtue over materialism. In a world where success is often measured by wealth, status, and material possessions, the Stoic philosophy offers a refreshing and empowering perspective. True happiness comes from cultivating virtue, not accumulating things. Stoicism teaches us that external circumstances, such as money, fame, or possessions, are transient and cannot provide lasting fulfillment. The Stoics believed that it's the development of inner qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance that lead to a meaningful and content life. When you stop caring about the pursuit of materialism and focus on cultivating virtue, everything changes. You begin to live with a sense of purpose, clarity, and peace that no material possession can provide. Materialism is deeply ingrained in modern culture. From a young age, we're taught to value possessions, social status, and outward appearances. The more we have, the more successful we are, right? But the Stoics challenge this notion, arguing that external wealth and success are not reliable sources of happiness. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, often reminded himself that material goods and social accolades are not what is important, but the virtue of one's character is the only thing truly worth pursuing. When you place value on things that are outside your control, such as the accumulation of wealth or the approval of others, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and dissatisfaction. These external factors are constantly changing, and they're ultimately out of your hands. By prioritizing virtue over materialism, you shift your focus from fleeting, external rewards to the internal qualities that define a person's true worth. Virtue, according to Stoicism, is the foundation for a good life. It involves living with integrity, making ethical decisions, treating others with kindness and respect, and striving to grow in wisdom and understanding. Unlike material possessions, virtue cannot be taken away from you. It's something you develop and carry with you, regardless of external circumstances. This internal focus creates a deep sense of satisfaction and peace, because your happiness no longer depends on the ever-changing tides of material wealth or social success. Consider this. How many of us have worked tirelessly to acquire things, whether it's a new car, a bigger house, or the latest gadget, only to find that the excitement of owning them is short-lived? The initial joy fades, and soon we're chasing after the next thing to fill the void. The Stoics understood this cycle and encouraged us to step off the hamster wheel of consumption. They taught that when we shift our focus to personal growth and virtuous living, the need for external validation diminishes, and true contentment arises from within. When virtue becomes your priority, you stop measuring your success by what you own or what others think of you, and start measuring it by the integrity of your character and the quality of your actions. Living according to virtue also gives you the strength to face life's challenges with resilience and grace. Material wealth might provide comfort in the short term, but it cannot protect you from hardship, illness, or loss. Virtue, on the other hand, empowers you to navigate life's difficulties with wisdom and composure. For instance, in moments of loss or disappointment, a person rooted in virtue will find strength in their values, principles, and inner resolve. When you stop caring about chasing material success, you free yourself to embrace a life that is far richer in meaning and fulfillment. In the end, prioritizing virtue over materialism leads to a more fulfilling, purposeful life. When you focus on developing your character and living in accordance with your values, you find a sense of peace and contentment that cannot be shaken by the transient nature of wealth and possessions. So, the next time you find yourself caught up in the pursuit of material things, ask yourself, is this truly what will bring me happiness, or is it virtue that will lead me to a life of lasting fulfillment? The answer, according to Stoic wisdom, is clear. Virtue is the path to a life of true richness, one that no external possession can ever provide. 7. Develop a practice of reflection and journaling. One of the most powerful and practical tools in Stoic philosophy is the practice of reflection and journaling. The Stoics understood the importance of self-examination and introspection as a means of improving one's character and living a life aligned with virtue. This practice allows you to step back, assess your thoughts, actions, and emotions, and make deliberate changes to become a better version of yourself. When you stop caring about external distractions and take the time to reflect deeply, everything changes. You gain clarity, focus, and a deeper understanding of your inner world, which leads to greater peace, purpose, and direction in your life. Journaling, as practiced by Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, serves as a tool for personal growth and mindfulness. Marcus Aurelius kept a daily journal, often writing in it as a way to reflect on his thoughts, challenges, and the lessons he learned throughout the day. His reflections weren't about recording events, but about aligning his actions with Stoic virtues: virtue, wisdom, courage, and justice. The act of journaling allowed him to step back from the hustle and bustle of life and process his thoughts, helping him remain grounded in his values and principles. Through this process, he developed the self-awareness needed to improve his responses to life's challenges. Reflection and journaling are essential practices in a world that constantly demands our attention. We are often distracted by external noise, social media, work pressures, and the opinions of others. These distractions can prevent us from truly understanding ourselves and our motivations. By regularly reflecting on our actions, thoughts, and feelings, we create a space for deeper self-awareness. It allows us to notice patterns in our behavior, identify areas where we can improve, and recognize the things that truly matter in our lives. This clarity is invaluable in helping us prioritize what is within our control and let go of what is not. Moreover, journaling encourages mindfulness and emotional detachment. By writing down your thoughts, you gain a sense of perspective and distance from them. This makes it easier to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. When you stop caring about impulsively reacting to every thought and feeling, journaling allows you to process them in a calm, intentional way. This process of distillation can help you find the wisdom you need to approach challenges with a clearer mind, rather than being swept away by your initial emotional reactions. Ultimately, the act of reflection and journaling helps you stay connected to your true self. It allows you to track your growth, make adjustments, and align your actions with your core values. In this sense, journaling isn't just a passive activity. It's an active, empowering practice that brings you closer to living a life of purpose, integrity, and peace. So make it a habit. Set aside time each day to reflect and write down your thoughts. You'll be amazed at how it transforms your perspective and helps you navigate life with a greater sense of clarity and direction. 8. Cultivate gratitude for what you have. In the rush of everyday life, it's easy to become consumed with what we don't have: the next promotion, the latest gadget, or the perfect relationship. We often focus so much on what's missing that we forget to appreciate what's already in our lives. The Stoics, however, believed that a fundamental practice for a peaceful and content life is the cultivation of gratitude for what we already have. By embracing gratitude, you stop caring about constantly chasing after more, and instead, you start valuing the present moment and the blessings you already possess. When you stop taking your current life for granted, everything changes. Gratitude becomes a gateway to greater happiness, fulfillment, and a deeper connection to the richness of the present. The Stoic practice of gratitude involves recognizing the value in the simple things: good health, supportive relationships, a roof over your head, and the ability to learn and grow each day. Rather than lamenting what you lack, a Stoic perspective encourages you to focus on what's going well in your life right now. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reminded himself to be grateful for the small things, such as the opportunity to live each day, interact with others, and pursue knowledge. Gratitude isn't about ignoring life's difficulties, it's about finding peace and joy in the midst of them. When you practice gratitude regularly, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of constantly feeling like something is missing or that you're not enough, you begin to realize that you have everything you need in this moment. This shift helps reduce the anxiety and dissatisfaction that often comes from a desire for more. It doesn't mean you stop striving for growth or improvement, but it allows you to appreciate the journey and recognize the gifts you already have. Gratitude also has a profound impact on our relationships. When you're grateful for the people in your life, you're more likely to appreciate them, treat them with kindness, and nurture those connections. Rather than taking others for granted, gratitude deepens your bonds and fosters genuine love and appreciation. The simple act of saying thank you or expressing your gratitude can strengthen relationships and create a more positive environment. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What are you grateful for in your life right now? Is there something you've overlooked in the hustle and bustle of daily living? Take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's celebrate the power of gratitude together. By embracing this Stoic practice, you'll begin to see the world with new eyes, appreciating the richness of each moment. Gratitude truly has the power to change your life, so why wait? Start practicing today. 9. Live according to nature. One of the most profound teachings of Stoicism is the principle of living according to nature. This idea is rooted in the understanding that we, as human beings, are a part of the natural world and should align our lives with its rhythms and laws. The Stoics believed that by embracing our inherent nature, living in harmony with the world around us, and accepting the natural order of things, we can find peace and fulfillment. When you stop fighting against the flow of life and instead live in alignment with your true nature, everything changes. You begin to experience a sense of purpose, balance, and connection that transcends external circumstances. Living according to nature doesn't mean retreating into a life of passivity or rejecting modern society. Rather, it means understanding and accepting the natural processes that govern our existence, whether it's the cycles of life and death, the inevitability of change, or the inherent interconnectedness of all things. The Stoics believed that human nature is grounded in reason, and our goal is to cultivate rationality, wisdom, and virtue in all areas of life. When you live in accordance with this understanding, you free yourself from unnecessary struggles and frustrations. You stop trying to force things to be other than they are, and instead accept life as it comes. One important aspect of living according to nature is accepting that some things are beyond our control. The natural world operates according to its own laws, and so too do the events in our lives. We can't control the weather, the actions of others, or the inevitable ups and downs of life. But what we can control is our response. By recognizing the limits of our control and embracing the natural flow of life, we stop fighting against what is and begin to find peace in what we cannot change. This perspective brings a sense of tranquility, knowing that we don't have to control everything to live a good life. Moreover, living according to nature means being attuned to the rhythms of your own body and mind. It means honoring your natural needs, whether it's getting enough rest, spending time outdoors, nurturing relationships, or pursuing activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. In a world that often encourages overwork, constant achievement, and disconnectedness, living in harmony with nature allows you to slow down, appreciate the present, and care for your well-being. I'm curious, how do you connect with nature in your life? Do you make time to pause and align yourself with the natural world? Share your thoughts in the comments below. By embracing the Stoic principle of living according to nature, you'll discover a greater sense of peace and a deeper connection to the world around you. So take a moment today to tune in to your own nature, accept what you can't control, and live with greater intention. Let nature guide you and see how it transforms your perspective on life. Conclusion: embracing the Stoic way of thinking can truly revolutionize your life. By letting go of unnecessary attachments, accepting impermanence, prioritizing virtue, and practicing emotional detachment, You unlock the path to inner peace and resilience. When you stop caring about the things that don't serve you, like external validation, materialism, or avoiding adversity, you begin to focus on what truly matters: your character, your mindset, and your ability to live in harmony with nature. Each of these Stoic practices offers you the power to transform how you experience the world and your role within it. So, I challenge you today. What area of your life can you apply Stoic wisdom to, and how can you start embracing these changes right now? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Share your experiences, reflections, and any practices you found helpful in your journey toward living a more Stoic life. Let's continue the conversation and inspire each other to live more thoughtfully and authentically.